ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविष्णुभूतले प्रभुपदति प्रिय श्री गिरिराजाय स्वामिने सुभक्तरदरास बिहारिभ्यं भक्तेभ्यश्चात्मदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णविष्णुभूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चाचार्यशतारिणे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5. You follow with her? Canto 5, and we are in chapter 20. So this section is describing about the structure of the universe. So previous section we discussed about Jambudvip, meaning so it's the description of the universe and the different lands where we are living, sthanam, sthana, where are we, the jiv, where the jiv living. So this is a very much an, well, for us at least, quite an in-depth description, though it is very brief for those who are astronomers, but for us it is sufficient. So we studied in the previous chapter about the island of Jambudvip. So Jambudvip is the middle of the entire planetary system. It's right in the middle, Jambudvip. So this is Bhulok. In Bhulok now, Jambudvip is in the middle. And then there are, so this is Jambudvip, and surrounding there are other dvip, continents. Continents meaning they're surrounded with different types of liquids. So we have studied in depth Jambudvip, and Jambudvip is divided into 9 Varsh. And the most important of all the Varsha is Bharatvarsh. This is what we studied last week and completed. Now we are done with Jambudvip. Now we are going into the other continents surrounding Jambudvip. Just see my finger, how it's going. So Jambudvip in the middle, then we'll come round, then another one. So like that, there are 7 dvip. All right, 7 continents. You like to read? Just take this. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, yeah. Just take this, you read this.
In this chapter, there is a description of various islands beginning with Lakshadweep and the oceans that surround them. There is also a description of the location and dimensions of the mountain known as Loka Loka. The island of Lakshadweep, which is twice as broad as Lambudvipa, is surrounded by an ocean of salt water. The master of this island is Ladmajiva, one of the sons of Maharaja Priyavrata. The island is divided into 7 regions, each with a mountain and a large river. The second island is called Salmal Dvipa. It is surrounded by an ocean of liquor and is 3 crore 20 lakhs miles of wide, twice as wide as Lakshadweep. The master of this island is Yajna Bahu, one of the sons of Maharaj Priyavrata. Like Lakshadweep, this island is also divided into 7 regions, each with a mountain and a very large river. The inhabitants of this island worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Chandratma. Regions is called Pushadvipa. Its master is Hiranyarita, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata, and its inhabitants worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Agni, the fire god. The width of this island is 6 crores 40 lakhs miles, or in other words, twice the width of Salmaldvipa. The fourth island, Kronachadvipa, which is surrounded by an ocean of milk, is 12 crores 80 lakhs miles wide and is also divided like the others into 7 regions, each with a large mountain and a large river. The master of this island is Ghataprastha, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. The inhabitants of this island worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of water. The fifth island, Sakadvipa, which is 25 crore 60 lakhs miles wide, is surrounded by an ocean of yogurt. Its master is Medadithi, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. It is also divided into 7 regions, each with a large mountain and a large river. Its inhabitants worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vayu air. The sixth island, Pushkara Dwipa, which is twice as wide as the previous island, is surrounded by an ocean of clear water. Its master is Vitihotra, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. The island is divided into 2 by a large mountain named Manasotara. The inhabitants of this island worship Swambhu, another feature of the personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Beyond Pushkara Dwipa, there are 2 islands, one always lit by the sunshine and the other always dark. Between them is a mountain called Loka Loka, which is situated 1 billion miles from the edge of the universe. Lord Narayana, expanding his opulence, resides upon this mountain. The area beyond Loka Loka mountain is called Aloka Varsha, and beyond Aloka Varsha is the pure destination of persons who desire liberation. Vertically, the sun globe is situated just in the middle of the universe in Antariksha, the space between Bhura Loka and Bhuvar Loka. The distance between the sun and the circumference of Andagolaka, the globe of the universe, is estimated to be 25 Koti Yojanas, 2 billion miles. Because the sun enters the universe and divides the sky, it is known as Martanda, and because it is produced from Hiranyagarbha, the body of the Tattva. It is also called Hiranyagarbha.
So, text 1. So this is like a summary. Now we'll go in the details. Text 1. Shri Shukka Uvacha Ata Param Plakshadinam Pramana Lakshana Samsthanato Varasha Vibhaga Upavanyate. The great sage Shukadev Goswami said, hereafter I shall describe the dimensions, the characteristics and forms of the 6 islands, beginning with the island of Plaksha. Jambudvipoyam yavat pramanam vistarasthavata ksharadadhina parivestito yatha merurjamvakyena lavano dadhirapi tatodvi guna vishalena lakshakyena parikshipto yatha parikha bahayopavanena plaksha jambu pramano dvipakyakaro hiranmaya uthito yatragnir upaste sapta jivastasya priya vrata-majo idma jivat swam dvipam sapta varshani vibhaja sapta varsha namabhya atmajebhya akalaya swayam atma yogeno parararama. So now we have to pay a lot of attention. No? This is geography of this universe. No? But very, very interesting. Again, see, whatever is there on the other Dvipa, we'll find a sample in Bharatvarsh. All right? Everything we'll find, because the universe finally is like, it's just a repetition. It's a repetition, whatever, not everything, but a small particle you'll find. So as Sumeru mountain is surrounded by Jambudvip, so in the middle is Sumeru mountain. And Sumeru mountain, so this is lying on the earth of Jambudvip. So Jambudvip is also surrounded by an ocean of salt water. Right, isn't it? Like our land, like the ocean is just here, right? It's salty water, right? So why? It's because Jambudvip is surrounded by salty water. The breadth of Jambudvip is 100,000 yojana, 1 lakh, no? Is that 1 lakh yojana, meaning 8 lakh miles. This is the breadth of Jambudvip. And the breadth of the saltwater ocean is the same. So as a moat around a fort is sometimes surrounded by garden-like forest, the saltwater ocean surrounding Jambudvip is itself surrounded by Plakshadvip. That's such a beautiful imagery, right? So meaning that we have Jambudvip, right? Then there is the ocean of water. And then you find like the next Plakshadvip. So meaning this is just exactly like an island. You find an island and then you find lush greenery all around. So that's another dvip around it. Such beautiful imagery. So this is Plakshadvip. The breadth of Plakshadvip is twice that of the salt water ocean. Of course, it has to be, so it's spread out. So if here's Jambudvip, then you've got the ocean, then you've got Plakshadvip, which is spread out, and now it is twice. It's twice the breadth of Plakshadvip, of the ocean of salt. The breadth of Plakshadvip is twice that of the salt water ocean. In other words, 2 lakh yojana. 1.6 lakh miles. On Plakshadweep, there is a tree shining like gold, and as tall as a jambu tree on Jambudweep. You can sit here, Amrita, if you want. Yeah, so on Plakshadweep, there is a tree shining like gold. You know, actually, here there's some, we call it flame tree, right? There's some tree, it has flowers like red, Plaksha, Plaksha tree, very red. So a sample is found also here. So on Plakshadweep, there is a tree shining like gold and as tall as Jambu tree on Jambudweep. At its root is a fire with 7 flames. It is because this tree is a Plaksha tree that the island is called Plakshadweep. Plakshadweep was governed by Idmajiva, one of the sons of Maharaj Priyavrat. He endowed the 7 islands with the names of his 7 sons, divided the islands among the sons, and then retired from active life to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. So, Maharaj Priyavrat, he actually, so this Maharaj Priyavrat, so he gave each island to one son. So 7 sons. So this is the, probably say somewhere is the law of inheritance, how you give away your land. So he gave to each son, he gave them one dweep. So at the root of this tree, there's 7 flames. So that's why it's called Plaksha. Text 3-4. Shivam yavasam subhadram shantam shemam amritam abhayam iti varashani teshu girayo nadyascha samteva bhigyataha manikuto vajrakuta indraseno jyotishman suparno hiranyaktivo meghamala iti shetu shailaha Arunan rim nangirasi savitri suptabhata ritambhara satyambhara iti mahanadyaha yasam jalopa parashana vidhuta rajastamaso hamsa patangodhvayana satyanga samyaschatvaro varnaha Sahasrayusho vibhudhopama sandarshana prajananaha swargadwaram traya vidyaya bhagavantam trayimayam suryam atmanam yajante. You know, see, all these, when people do yagya, right? When they do yagya, where, it's like a destination. All this, wherever you want to go, you recite the appropriate mantras, you will end up there. So all these are from Bhagavatam, but you go and reciting this, but be careful, you'll end up in the material world itself. From Jambudweep, you will go to the Jambudweep, okay? There's 9 Varsha, right? So from Bharat Varsha, you can go to Ketumala, you can go Ramyak, you can go here and there, right? Now I say, no, this is also not sufficient. So where do you want to go? Let's go to the next dweep, Like we roam around in India and say, no, now we want to go to Europe. Then we want to go to America, then we want to go to this, right? 7 continents on planet Earth. So we want to roam around in different places. So let us see what's going on here. The 7 islands, Varsha, are named according to the names of those 7 sons. Shiva, Yavasha, Subhadra, Shanta, Kshema, Amrita, and Abhay. in those 7 tracts of land, there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. So remember that there are natural boundaries among the countries, so that people will live within this place, just like this room has walls. So only some people are allowed in here, right? Like your house, it has boundaries. So similarly, the entire creation is divided with boundaries of mountains and rivers. And you are meant to live here. So what do? We do Samudra Par, right? Isn't it? That's what we do. We develop, airplanes or ships. You say, no, I want to cross. Right? This is what we do. So those tracts of land have 7 mountains and 7 rivers. So the mountains are boundaries, and the rivers, they nourish. Yeah, they nourish the people who are living there with different things. The mountains are named Manikutta, Vajrakutta, Indrasena, Jyotishman, Suparna, Hiranyashtiva, and Meghamala. And the rivers are named Aruna, Nrimna, Angirasi, Savitri, Suptabhata, Ritambhara, and Satyambhara. One can immediately be free from material contamination by touching or bathing in those rivers. And the 4 castes of people who live in Plakshadweep, the Hamsa, Patanga, Urvayanas, and Satyangas, purify themselves in that way. The inhabitants of Plakshadweep live for 1,000 years. Like we are living maximum 120 years, right, in Kali Yuga. But these inhabitants, they are living for 1,000 years. They are beautiful like the demigods, and they also beget children like the demigods, meaning that they don't go through pregnancy, right? So meaning as soon as the woman is impregnated, immediately she delivers the child, right? There's no pregnancy, there's no 9 months sitting and suffering and coming out with pain, no. They are born immediately. By completely performing the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas, and by worshipping the Supreme Person of Godhead as represented by the Sun God, they attain the sun, which is a heavenly planet. So the inhabitants of Plaksha, Plakshadweep, they worship Surya Dev. And when they do the yagya for Surya, they reach Suryalok. All right. Purport. According to general understanding, there are originally 3 deities: Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. And people with a poor fund of knowledge consider Lord Vishnu no better than Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva. The conclusion, however, is invalid. As stated in the Vedas, Ishtapurtam Bahudha Jayamanam Vishwam Bibharti Bhuvanasya Nabhihi Tad Evagnis Tad Vayus Tat Suryas Tatu Chandrama Agni Sarva Devataha. This means that the Supreme Lord, who accepts and enjoys the results of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, technically called Ishtapurta, meaning you want to satisfy an Ishtadev, who maintains, so this is Vishnu, who maintains the entire creation, who supplies the necessities of all living entities, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kamam, and who is the central point of all creation is Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu expands are the demigods known as Agni, Vayu, Surya, and Chandra, who are simply parts and parcels of his body. Lord Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Ye pyanya devata bhakta yajante shradhayan vitaha tepi mam eva konteya yajanti e avidhi purvakam. Devotees who worship the demigods with firm faith worship me also, but not according to regulative principles. In other words, if one worships the demigods but does not understand the relationship between the demigods and the Supreme Person Godhead, his worship is irregular, avidhi purvakam. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita 9.24, Aham hi sarva yagyanam bhakto cha prahur evacha. I'm the only enjoyer of ritualistic ceremonies. It may be argued that the demigods are as important as Lord Vishnu, because the names of the demigods are different names of Vishnu. This, however, is not a sound conclusion, for it is contradicted in the Vedic literatures. So we say, anyway, these devas, they are part and parcel of Lord Vishnu. So when we are saying the name of Indra, Chandra, etc., so we are referring to Vishnu. But Prabhupada is saying, no, this is not a sound conclusion. So you see, like the parts, Indra, Chandra, etc., so we say, then they are same as Vishnu, because they are parts of Vishnu. And he says, no, not a sound conclusion. The Vedas declare, Chandrama manaso jatas chaksho surya ajayata shrotradayascha pranas chamkhadagnir ajayata narayanat brahma narayanat rudro jayate narayanat prajapatihi jayate narayanat indro jayate narayanadastu vishvasago jayate Narayanad Ekadasha Rudra Jayate. The demigods of the moon Chandra came from the mind of Narayan. Alright? So that's why your mind is governed by Chandra. Alright? So when the moon right, waxes and wanes, we go crazy, right? Sometimes happy, pull it up, right? When it is full, depending on what you are, mad people become mad, right? I heard. During Purnima and during Amavasya, they become depressed. The mind becomes depressed, right? But if we worship Narayan, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, that moon will have to remain fixed. It's waxing and waning, meaning the mind is fickle, right? It doesn't happen. Why? Because behind Chandra is Narayana. Behind Chandra is Narayana. And the sun god came from his eyes. So meaning our eyes, which is perceiving, right? So we are making use of sunlight. So he's coming from, the sun god is coming from Narayan, meaning that if we are seeing anything with our eyes, we should be able to see Narayan behind it. Alright? This is the perfection of the eyes. The controlling deities of hearing and the live air came from Narayan. We're hearing what you have to hear, and when we breathe, with every breath there should be Narayan. All that we should hear is Narayan. And the controlling deity of fire was generated from his mouth. So that's why we do this yagya, right? And we put grains. We put grains in that yagya kund. Similarly, when you're cooking, right? You're cooking grains. This is the fire of Narayan. This Agni, whether it's electricity or gas, whatever, that Agni is Narayan. All right, so wonderful. So that's why you have to put that in your mouth, right? So before you put in your mouth, you have to put in the mouth of Narayan. Okay, everybody's offering their food at home. All right. Everything, every bhog has to go in the mouth of Narayan. Then it is purified because that fire has been lit for Narayan. Otherwise, that fire will burn down our whole life. Prajapati, Lord Brahma, came from Narayan. Prajapati meaning we are all generated from Prajapati, right? He gave birth to all of us. Prajapati. Then Indra came from Narayan. Indra is the king, right? So the ruler of this world, universe is Indra. And so he's representative. So he's acting on behalf of Narayan. And the 8 Vasu, the 11 companions of Lord Shiva and the 12 Adityas also came from Narayan. In the Smriti Vedic literature, it is also stated. Brahma Shambhustathaivarkas Chandramascha Shatakratuhu Evamaryasthaivanye Yukta Vaishnava Tejasa Jagatkaryavasanetu Viyujyante Chatechasa Vitechascha te sarve Panchatam Upayanti te. Brahma, Shambhu, Surya and Indra, all merely products of the power of the Supreme Person, Godhead. This is also true of many other demigods, whose names are not mentioned here. When the cosmic manifestation is annihilated, these different expansions of Narayan's potencies will merge into Narayan. In other words, all these demigods will die. The living force will be withdrawn and they will merge into Narayan. So all the demigods, what happened to them at the end of creation? They die. Can you imagine? You're worshipping somebody who will die. Do you want to worship somebody who will die? Meaning his power will be taken away. So it's better to worship the giver of power, right? Therefore, it should be concluded that Lord Vishnu, not Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, is the Supreme Person of Godhead. As a government officer is sometimes accepted as the entire government, although he is actually but a departmental manager, so the demigods, having achieved power of atoning from Vishnu, act on his behalf, although they are not as powerful as he. But for us small human beings, this demigod is sufficiently powerful, right? Unless we want something else. All the demigods must work under the orders of Vishnu. Like I know even in our small management, if I catch somebody, I say, can you do this? I say, no, I must ask, the head, right? I'm working and I'm serving under somebody, I must ask this one. So this entire creation works like this. Everybody is working under somebody, including the devas. Therefore it is said, Ekale Ishwara Krishna Arasabha Bhritya. The only master is Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and all others are his obedient servants who act exactly according to his order. The distinction between Lord Vishnu and the demigods is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Yanti deva vrata devan yanti mad yajopimam. Mad yajinopimam. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, whereas the worshippers of Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu go to the planets in Vaikuntha Lok. These are the statements of the Smriti. Therefore, the idea that Lord Vishnu is on the same level as the demigods. Therefore, where are we? These are the statements. Therefore, the idea that Lord Vishnu is on the same level as the demigods is in contradiction to the Shastras. The demigods are not supreme. The supremacy of the demigods is dependent on the mercy of Lord Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna. Right. That's clear. That's clear. Text 5. Pratnasya Vishnu Rupam Yad Satyasyartasya Brahmanaha Amritasya cha mrituscha Suryam Atmanam Imahiti. No, Imahiti. Pratnasya, the oldest person, Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, Rupam, the form. Satyasya, the absolute truth, Ritasya of dharma, Brahmana, the supreme Brahman, Amritasya, the auspicious result, Cha, and Mrityu of death, the inauspicious result, Cha. This is the mantra by which the inhabitants of Plakshadweep worship the Supreme Lord. So that's why I was saying that all this throughout, whatever we've been reading, these are all prayers, right? They're prayers by which now different demigods are worshipped. But it's being pointed out behind those mantras actually is Vishnu, and we should not separate Vishnu from the Devas, because finally the Devas will die, and who will be left is Vishnu. So what is the prayer of the inhabitants of Plakshadweep? So this is the first island. Beyond Jambudweep is Plakshadweep. Let us take shelter of the sun god, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu. Let us take shelter of the sun god, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu, the all-expanding supreme person, Godhead, the oldest of all persons. Vishnu, the only worshipable Lord. He is the Vedas, he is religion, and he is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious results. Okay, Amrita, can you read this?
Purport. Lord Vishnu is even the supreme lord of death, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. There are two kinds of activities, auspicious and inauspicious, and both are controlled by Lord Vishnu. Inauspicious activities are said to be behind Lord Vishnu, whereas auspicious activities stand before him. The auspicious and the inauspicious exist through the entire world, and Lord Vishnu is the controller of them both. In regard to this verse, Srila Madhavacharya says, Surya Somagini Varisa Vidustra Yatha Karamanam Palaksadi Dvepa Samasthastu Sthitam Harim Upasate. There are many lands, fields, mountains, and oceans throughout the creation, and everywhere the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by his different names. Srila Viraragraha Acharya explains this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam as follows. The original cause of the cosmic manifestation must be the oldest person and must therefore be behind material transmissions. He is the enjoyer of all auspicious activities and is the cause of conditional life and also liberation. The demigod Surya, who is categorized as a very powerful jiva or living entity, is a representation of one of the parts of his body. We are naturally subordinate to powerful living entities, and therefore we can worship the various demigods as living beings who are powerful representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the worship of the sun god is recommended in this mantra, he is worshipped not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but as his powerful representative. In the Katha Upanishad 1.3.1, it is said, Ritam binhatau sukritasya loke guham pravistau parame paradhe chayatapu brahmavido वदन्ति Panchaghenyo ye cha tri nasiketah. O Nachiketa, the expansions of Lord Vishnu as the tiny living entity and the super soul are both situated within the cave of the heart of the body. Having entered that cavity, the living entity, resting on the chief of the life airs, enjoys the results of activities, and the super soul, acting as witnesses, enables him to enjoy them. Those who are well versed in knowledge of Brahma and those householders who carefully follow the Vedic regulations, they say that the difference between the two is like the difference between a shadow and the sun. In the Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.16 it is said, Sa Viskvakart Vishwa Veda Atma Yona Jina Kalakaro Guni Sarved Yah Paradhana Kshetrajana Patir Ganesha Samsara Moksha Sthiti Bandha Hetu. The Supreme Lord, the creator of this cosmic manifestation, knows every nook and corner of his creation. Although he is the cause of creation, there is no cause for his appearance. He is fully aware of everything. He is the super soul, the master of all transcendental qualities. He is the super soul, the master of all transcendental qualities, and he is the master of this cosmic manifestation in regard to bondage to the conditional state of material existence and liberation from that bondage. Similarly, in the Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8, it is said, Bishamadvatah pavate Bisho deti suryah Bishamad Aksa Senderya cha Mrityur Davanti Panchamaha. It is out of fear of the Supreme Brahman that the wind is blowing, out of fear of him that the sun regularly rises and sets, and out of fear of him that fire acts. It is only due to fear of him that Death and Indra, the king of heaven, perform their respective duties. As described in this chapter, the inhabitants of the 5 islands beginning with Lakshadweep worship the sun god and moon god and the fire god and the air god and Lord Brahma respectively. Although they engage in the worship of these 5 demigods, however they actually worship Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities, as indicated in this verse by the words Pratanasya Vishnu Rupam. Vishnu is Brahma, Amrita, Mrityu, the Supreme Brahman and the origin of everything, auspicious and inauspicious. He is situated in the heart of everyone, including all the demigods. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, Kamasthaya Hirtya Jnanaha Prapadayante Nyat Devataha. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto the demigods. People who are almost blind because of lusty desires are recommended to worship the demigods to have their material desires fulfilled. But actually, those desires are not fulfilled by the material demigods. Whatever the demigods do is done with the sanction of Lord Vishnu. People who are too lusty worship the various demigods instead of worshipping Lord Vishnu, the super soul of all living entities. But ultimately it is Lord Vishnu they worship because he is the super soul of all demigods.
So our situation is described here in this verse, in all this section. So the inhabitants of Lakshadweep, they are worshipping the sun god. So this sun god is a reflection of Lord Vishnu. So worship of the demigods with the understanding that actually we are worshipping Lord Vishnu is like authorized. But worship of the demigods thinking they are independent or they're equal to Lord Vishnu is completely condemned. Meaning you get nothing from it. So Vishnu is the only worshipable Lord. He is the Vedas, he is religion, and he is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious result. Whatever we get in our life, whether our life is Shubh or Ashubh, right? Who's the giver of the result? It is Vishnu. All right?
What does this mean? Inauspicious activities are behind?
Shubh, meaning, yeah, there are two kinds of activities, auspicious, inauspicious. Inauspicious activities are said to be behind Lord Vishnu, meaning the shadow, it's Maya. All the Maya work that we do, meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, and all the varieties. These are inauspicious work that we do, right? So this is the back of Vishnu, right? And we suffer from it. And what is in front is what we do in service, what we advance in Krishna's service. And inadvertently, we may do both, right? Some people are very inauspicious in their work. Some people are primarily auspicious in their work. And some people, like most of us, we are mixed, right? So the auspicious and inauspicious exist throughout the entire world, right? Anyway, I don't know whether we want to examine our own auspicious and inauspicious work, We have to take a notebook and write down, just keep a check. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? How did I speak? How did I react, right? Keep a check on ourselves in order to increase the auspicious and decrease the inauspicious. And all this is happening in the land of this creation. It is called Kshetra. You're planting the seeds of our karma. So then it decides where you take your birth, your next birth. Life is simply a continuation of birth and death, right? One cycle is over for most of us. The cycle is getting closer and closer, right? To the end. Yeah, but we are changing, but there has to be one person who never changes. This is the Supreme Lord. And who has nothing to do with auspicious and inauspicious activities. So Surya is a powerful Jeev. Surya Dev is a powerful Jeev. But we already read that they die also. So this Surya Dev is worshipped in this mantra, but like every day, like we offer pranam when the sun rises, right? We offer pranam. And some people, they offer water, right? To Surya Dev. But we can get up early morning and Brahma Muhurt and chant Hare Krishna, right? Before the sun rises. This is much better. And you sit and wait when the sun, and the most horrible thing is that when you're asleep, the sun has risen and you're still asleep. Most inauspicious. Super inauspicious. Right? So therefore there's no health. There's no health, there's no wealth. Right? Anybody who sleeps when the sun is up is not getting the benefit of Surya Dev. So even though we may officially, worship Surya Dev, but just the fact that we get up before sunrise is itself respect to Surya Dev. No, not that we should allow Surya to peep in and look, where are you in your dark room, right? We should go out to welcome Surya. This is politeness. And we're going to study this. How this Surya is the center of the entire creation. Okay, Surya, the center of entire creation. You can know north, south, east, west, and any direction in between. And you also know where your house is situated according to Surya. You know? So Suryadev is not an entity to neglect. But that Surya has Brahma Muhurt. Right? Brahma Muhurt, 1.5 hours before sunrise. So now just see that's Kathopanishad. In Kathopanishad, this is Yamaraj. I think Yamaraj was speaking to Nachiketa. So he's describing about the soul and the super soul. O Nachiketa, the expansions of Lord Vishnu are the tiny living entities. Oh my God, it's gone. All right. So it's gone. This Jeev is an expansion of the super soul. Mama Evamusha Jiva Loke. Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita. We are an amsha, so an expansion of Lord Vishnu. Every Jeev is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. So this tiny expansion of Lord Vishnu, the Jeev, and the super soul are both situated where? Within the cave. Right? So if you remove your heart, if you have a heart surgery, right? You remove the heart, you can't find the Jivana super soul there, right? Why? Because it's hidden. It's hidden within the cave of the heart of this body. So the organ called the heart, so this is what it's visible to you, heart, but actually there is a subtle heart, right? There is the subtle heart. And in that subtle heart, there is the prana. When they do heart surgery or heart transplant, does the person die? Doesn't die, right? Why?
They keep the heart charging.
Because the subtle heart is still there. Yeah, the prana is still there. Yeah, still there. When the jeev leave that from the cave, then the heart outside stop functioning, right? So this you're finding from Kathopanishad. This soul and super soul, if you know the super soul, okay, now let's get out. He will immediately take that jeev and take him out, and your external heart will stop pumping. So the jeev is floating in, we heard here. So within the cave of the heart of the body, having entered that cavity, say cavity, the living entity resting on the chief of the life airs, meaning the prana, prana, pradhan, prana, enjoys the results of activities. We're in text 5, no? Kathopanishad. You found it? No? Just check. It's the next page, is it? Okay, Kathopanishad 1.3.1. All right. So, having entered that cavity, the living entity resting on the chief of the life airs enjoys the results of activities. Just see. We are breathing. See the sign of that, the jeev is there, right? I'm drawing breath. Because the jiva is sitting in that prana, right? Meaning there are 5 types of airs, but the chief air is in the heart, or the prana. So why is it sitting there? Due to our karma. The karma is making us sit in that heart, right? And the super soul acting as witness enables him to enjoy them. Just like this child, say, Papa, let's go to this place, and drag Papa there, Mama there, right? You go shopping, the child, give me this, right? So much tantrum, give me this, right? Then Mama will give. And Papa is only witness, being dragged everywhere, right? So super soul, him, is witnessing the whole drama of this Jeev life, what he wants. And he has no say in it. So he's the witness. Those who are well versed in knowledge of Brahman and those householders, so meaning the sannyasis, or those Brahma Vidu, Vedantis, and those householders who carefully follow the Vedic regulations. So there are 2 types of people who can know about this truth. Those who are the Brahmanas, Brahma Vidu, and even the householders who are regulated. So householders are not removed in the category of those who can know about soul and super soul, but they must follow the regulative principles. So they say that the difference between the two is like the difference between a shadow and the sun. Meaning the sun is there, right? And then if an object comes in front of the sun, then it projects a shadow. So we are running in this material world on our shadow. Chaya tapo. Chaya tapo. Then Shvetashvatar Upanishad is saying, the Supreme Lord knows what? Every nook and corner of his creation. No, how can he know? His creation is so huge, right? He's got cameras everywhere, what? Right? So here, Shvetashvatar Upanishad is saying, no. He knows every nook and corner of his creation. What's the use of being a creator if you don't know what's going on in your company? Right? A poor owner doesn't know what's going on in his company. Right? Isn't it? Although he is the cause of creation, there is no cause for his appearance. Okay. So he came, he created, but when he himself comes, it doesn't mean that he is created. Right? He's fully aware, abhigyat, we say, he's abhigyat. He's fully aware of everything. He's the super soul, the master of all transcendental qualities. And he's the master of this cosmic manifestation in regard to bondage to the conditioned state of existence. And liberation, meaning he's behind everything. If you want to remain in this material world, then the whole program is there. Jambu Dweep, Plaksha Dweep, this Dweep, that Dweep, whole program is there. But if you want to become liberated, that's him also. He's behind our liberation. Now, Taittiriya Upanishad is saying, so all these demigods out of fear of the Supreme Brahman, the wind is blowing, the sun is rising, meaning however powerful the sun may be, however powerful the wind may be, however powerful Agni may be, at the end of the day, everybody is bowing down to Lord Vishnu. Right? So therefore, it's best to worship Lord Vishnu. So now, in this chapter, Prabhupada is saying that in Plakshadweep, they're going to worship sun god, in another dweep, moon god, another one, Agni Dev, another one, air god, and then Lord Brahma. Yeah, so conclusion of this all is that if wherever see, the point is this, that in the material world means material desires. And if we take birth in these different dweep, right? And we are worshipping these devas, but actually it means that we have material desires. That's why we have taken birth. And we are very happy. We are tasting amrita of material life. We are very happy. So people who are too lusty worship various demigods. But ultimately it is Lord Vishnu they worship because he is the super soul of all demigods. So let's complete this section. Lakshadishu panchasu purushanam ayurindriyam auja sahobalam buddhir vikrama iti cha sarvesham otpatiki siddhir avisheshena vartate. O King, longevity, our duration of life. Ayu, sensory power, indriyanam, physical and mental strength, ojaha, balam, buddhi, our intelligence and bravery, vikrama, bravery, are naturally and equally manifested in all the inhabitants of the 5 islands headed by Plakshadweep. So these are not Kali Yuga people in Bharatvarsh, right? They have ayu, their senses are very powerful. My eyes can't see, I need this. And even after that, sometime, increasing. Or my ear, going dimmer and dimmer, you can't hear properly. Sense of taste, digestive system, everything, right? No problem in Plakshadweep. Sensory power is proper and everybody has equal, not one more than the other or less, equal. And naturally manifested. You don't need Ayurveda. No hospital. Intelligence, oh Buddhu. Right? Like with this AI story, they're making everybody become Buddhu number 1. Buddhu. You're losing your mental skills, you're using your physical skills. You're losing your means of livelihood also. Imitation is so dangerous. You can cook up anything in your imagination. It's like a fairy tale basically. Whatever pictures I have seen so far, it's absolutely like fairy tale. What do you call this? Those comics books and comics, right? It's amazing. And when they capture all the deities, and start painting, they put one Krishna, they put one Ganesh, merge Ganesh in Krishna, right? They put up all stories according to their own concoction. Very risky, this Kali Yuga. You may not find Krishna. Right?
You get that feeling only. Seeing those pictures, it doesn't get that feeling.
Yeah. There's no life in it. Okay, text 7. Plaksha swasamane nikshurasodena yatha tatha dvipopi shalmalo dviguna vishala samanena surodena vritta parivrinkate. Plakshadweep is surrounded by an ocean of sugarcane juice. Do you believe it? You don't? How do you believe there's an ocean of salt here? Do you believe there's an ocean of salt? Why do you believe? Because you've seen, right? You've seen, you tasted. I remember as a child, I always wondered how come in water there's salt. So now somewhere else, it's sweet. Right? It's sweet. It's not salty. The ocean is sweet. Equal in breadth to the island itself. So remember, Plakshadweep is twice the size of Jambudweep. No, not twice the size of Jambudweep. Twice the size of this salt ocean. Twice. And then now, the ocean that surrounds, see, it's just logical. Everybody look at the map of the earth, you can see more water than land. So according to this calculation, it should be double. Should be double. Amount of water should be double the amount of land. Because everywhere we see the multiplication. Remember, Lord Brahma, who created, he's a perfect engineer and architect, right? He measured everything properly, then he did, right? Not haphazard. Perfect. He measured properly. Otherwise, everything will be topsy-turvy, imbalanced, right? Equal in breadth to the island is. Similarly, there is then another island, Shalmali Dweep, twice as broad as Palakshadweep, meaning 4 lakh yojana or 3,000,002 lakh miles, and surrounded by an equally broad body of water called Surasagar. Surasagar. The ocean that tastes like liquor. So Plakshadweep had sugarcane. Now you know where liquor is coming from, right? Right? It's coming from somewhere. So we should know the source of sugarcane. See, from where the sugarcane is getting this juice, this rasa. Because there is an ocean where the juice is, it's there. So through earth, remember that all these dweep are connected. This is one creation, right? So Jambudweep. So Jambudweep had different rivers, type of rivers. And these rivers were nourishing everything, all the different islands. Varsha in Jambudweep. Now, sugarcane, where is it coming from? The rasa. So interplanetary connection, right? So it's coming here. Now liquor, how is it that liquor is manifested in Bharatvarsh, unfortunately? So there is an ocean of liquor also. Okay, so Lakshadweep. So Surasagar. I've heard this before as Surasagar. Surasagar. Where is it? The Sura Udena. Plaksha Swasamanena equal Ikshurasa. Or Ikshu, like Ikshu means ik, no? Ik. Sugar, cane. In Hindi we call it ik. So this is Ikshu, Ikshurasa, ik. Udena, by an ocean, Avritaha, surrounded, Yatha, just as, Tatha, similar, Dvipa, another island, Api also, Shalmalaha, known as Shalmala, Dviguna Vishala, so the size is double, Samanena, equal in width, Sura Udena. So it's an ocean of liquor, Sura. When people get drunk, so they are Sura Udena. Udena means ocean, vast. Avrittaha, surrounded. Parivrinkte exists. All right, okay. So next week we will continue. So we've completed this, but you're not going to be there, right? So you can still watch 1 hour with that. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jagadaru Kripa Sindhu Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.